Well, it's really nice to be here. And just like a lot of other callers or people that were in this group, I too have a lot of problems. But one of my biggest problem in life right now that is kind of an obstacle in me being able to move forward or even like function normally
Mhm.
is my marriage. And my marriage of 6 years is breaking down. It's a constant vicious cycle of me trying to make it work. We've tried almost everything and like still we lack communication, we lack intimacy, there's no understanding, and there's really no respect for one another anymore. We have 3 kids together and we're currently separated. He seems to love and care for myself and my children very much, but he's making very little effort to show that. And my problem now is that I'm at a point where I don't know if this relationship is even worth saving anymore. Like I'm so exhausted from it, and like we're on 2 completely different pages all the time, and it's just like I don't know how to leave him because my heart is still attached, and I'm still so hopeful, and I'm almost in denial of the facts. And it makes me feel stuck, but I don't want a divorce, but it's like we can't even live together because we have so much resentment and we argue all the time. But like I depend on him financially, I guess emotionally as well, but despite me wanting to make it work so badly, it's just not working. Like I don't know what it is.
So, are you trying to make it work just for the sake of making it work?
Possibly.
Okay. So, here's the thing. In, who he is exactly now, are you happy with that? Or are you in this place where I'm hoping he will change to become who I want him to be?
I'm hoping he will change.
And see, so that's it. So you're not actually in a relationship with who he is. You're trying to be in a relationship with who you want it to be. Right? And as long as you're
Okay.
not accepting who he is, you're going to keep holding on to a relationship that's not working for you because you're
Mhm.
hoping for that change that is not coming. Like, how long have things been this way?
Mhm. But accepting who he is would also mean accepting a lot that is wrong. Like, I'm not saying wrong with him. It's just like I don't know how to explain it properly. But like, if I accept him for who he is now, that means I'm accepting um, rejection. I'm accepting dismissal. I'm accepting meanness and egotistic. And he's like, and also like not a good parent. Like, if I
Well,
have to accept all of that, then that's like me setting myself up for the rest of my life
no, 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 no,
to
no.
live with something I'm not
When I say
happy with.
accept who he is, I don't mean accept who he is and live with it. I'm saying accept who he is and then decide, do I want to live with this when I accept who he is? Like once you start looking at him for who he is, then say, do I want to be with this person? But right now, you're not looking at him for who he is. You're looking at him for who you want him to be.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying, yeah, I'm not saying, and this is a mistake everyone can get into with acceptance and forgiveness. Just because you accept someone and just because you forgive someone does not mean you still have to have that person in your life. It doesn't mean you have to spend time with that person. It just means you get to the space where you're no longer in anxiety, you're no longer in judgment. You're just like, oh, this is who this person is. Now, how do I want to interact with this person, or do I want to interact with this person? So I'm not saying get out of the marriage, and I'm not saying get in the marriage. I'm saying accept him, see who he really is, and then make a decision. Do I want to continue in a marriage with this person for who they actually are?
Okay.
And you don't have to do that in this moment, but this is the place you want to get to, because I've seen so many women, especially some guys do this too, but they're in a relationship for years and years and they keep saying, but he says he's going to change, he keeps trying, I know he'll get better, and they keep telling me the same story over and over and over again, right? So those people aren't accepting who that person is, and then they're constantly unhappy, and they come back with the same stories. And he got better for a little while. He was trying, but then he just shifted right back.
Okay, and what if I tell you that I have accepted who he is and I have realized that it is better to let go of what I cannot accept of him than to try and make him change? It is easier said than done because I am trying to move forward, but I'm stuck because I have children. It's a marriage. It's not just something simple.
Oh, I never said it
How
was.
do I focus on letting it go? Like, what do
So
I have to do for myself?
what would life look like if you got separated?
It would be hard.
Okay. But would it be manageable? If you were in a
Yes.
different space where you didn't have to deal with what you're dealing with now and you're just with your kids, would life be easier for you?
I mean, practically no, but emotionally, yes. It would be way easy because I don't
Okay.
have to deal with the stress.
Okay. But that's a big thing because you're constantly under stress. When you're constantly under stress and you're constantly unhappy, you're in this negative place that attracts more negative events to you. When you get to a place where you're happy, you start attracting more positive things to you. But it starts with you making that decision, I'm going to do what's best for me and my kids, but putting you first, right? As much as you love your kids, you've got to put you first and then them second. And it sounds a little greedy on the surface, but you've got to look at it like if you're on an airplane and you've got your kids next to you and oxygen masks drop down, who do you put the mask on first?
Right.
Yeah. And you have to go with that. Why do you put the mask on you first? Because if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of everyone else. And I know it feels like you've got to stay in this so that you can take care of everyone else, but you're not putting yourself first. So eventually you won't be able to because things are just getting worse and worse the longer you go through this. Right? So, and when you make the decision, and this is the interesting thing, when you make a decision that this is what's going to do and this is what's going to create happiness for me, the universe starts to line up people, events, resources so that you can make that work. But if as long as you're in this should I or shouldn't I don't know what to do, maybe things will change, everything just basically stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
So there is trust involved in there, right? But it's got to come from this place that I'm going to do what's best for me and I'm going to create a life I want. And I'm not going to say that I am stuck in a certain place because that's just the decision you make to imprison yourself. And it's interesting how things can change once you make that decision. I've seen people make that decision, and when that energy changes, uh, sometimes, and I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, but sometimes the partner changes because the energy of that person changes so drastically, it affects the partner, and then they change, and they don't have to get to separate. But in other cases, they do separate, but the funds that you worry about and the support that you worry about, they show up because you're in this place that I'm going to make my life better. Right? So it's up to you, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying there's not going to be any struggle, but it is this choice of, are you going to live to make your life better, or are you going to say, I'm stuck here and I just have to deal with it? And I don't know how it will look once you start to make your life better. I know it will change and I know it will get better, but how it shows up is a mystery. The universe is going to make those decisions and just have things show up for you. Okay. But I've gone through this in my life in a lot of different situations, and it usually starts from being a really, really scared place, thinking I'm screwed, and then just saying, you know what? No, this changes now. And then once I do that, everything around me shifts, and it's amazing. It's like magic once you're in that spot.
I hope you're right.
So,
I love him,
yes.
and I am very hopeful because, we've had good times and we've been together for 6 years. There has had to be a reason, but just now everything is going downhill. And for me to make that decision of leaving him, I don't want to have to regret it because, I couldn't be patient. But you're right. Like, it's just, you're right. It's just like I'm very indecisive and I just keep rolling backwards into this place where I'm just like, I just love him and that's all that matters. And then when I have him, I'll be like, oh, but love doesn't pay the bills. And, there's all of these other things that I value and he doesn't have those.
Yeah.
So it's just like a constant cycle. I just want to be able to be okay with knowing that I love him, but that this is important for me.
Okay. So the decision the first decision you want to make is that you're going to make a change and make your life better. Whether that involves leaving him or not, you can leave that out for just now and just make that decision that I'm going to change and make my life better. And then from there, take the next step and see what shows up. And from there, take the next step and see what goes better. But right up until this point, you've just been at this, I don't know what to do, and not making a decision. Mm-hmm. So Are you willing to destroy the belief that if you change the situation, it's only going to get worse?
Yes. Okay.
How's that feel?
It feels good.
All right. Good. Is there anything else?
No, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hey, this is Shiraz. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel. And you can check out upcoming events at www.energeticmagic.com. And remember, be well, be aware, and be magical.